All right. Let's go ahead and get started here. Hope you're all doing all right. Hope the stream looks all right. Oh, we're all zoomed in for some reason. Oops, that's more zoomed in. Come on. There we go. Hope you're all doing well, though. Good to see you here, Fake News Fish. And today, we are going to be doing just some line work stuff. My goal for today is going to be these two panels. I'm going to try my best. I've not been feeling super motivated these last few weeks, honestly. Today is not Thursday, and if you'd seen my post, I was really tired yesterday, and so I decided to postpone the stream to today. And who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'll make that a bit of a habit as well. It depends. I don't know. Maybe Friday's a bit of a better day for people, or I don't know. Honestly, I would like to do just more streams in general. As a community post on YouTube. Which I don't know if you get that if you're subscribed or not. I don't know. But it's usually where I post stuff. Let's go ahead and import movie data. Bring the ship in. But yeah, decided to stream today instead of my typical day, Thursday. Go ahead and move this down even below the thumbnail. And move it back even further. It's kind of interesting. If you ever look up like behind the scenes stuff for 3D movies and such, you'll actually learn that they use a lot of tricks to get the right sort of framing and such. As opposed to just like trying to do it all real. As if it was like right in front of you. Hello, Billy. Good to see you. Also, Ava over on the phone side. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Hopefully, the phone side should be synchronized as well. If not, though, then I'll have to keep that up. But yeah, so that's keeping that in mind, keeping the 3D thing in mind, I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want this to look. Because my ultimate goal is to make this ship look like it's kind of long. Because it's a bit of a big ship. I don't think I want that angle though. Maybe something a bit more like this if I lower it down. Something like that. Let's give that a shot. The nice thing is I don't have to worry mostly about that. Although, maybe a little lower, actually. That way I don't have to worry about that at all. Let's try that. Okay. So turn that down, go back to line work, and now we get to do the fun of line work on a 3D object. Do I need to? I do need to bring it. Do I want, now the question really is, do I want this to be a smooth line? I think I do actually. So we're gonna create our first curve here. Some leftover chicken wings with some spicy sauce. That sounds really good. There's a place up in Washington, a friend of mine, whenever I go to visit him, he'll take me to. And they have really good wings, and sometimes I'll just be sitting there and I'll just think to myself, man, I could go for those wings again, like right now. And I'm really sad because, as far as I'm aware, there's no really good wing places around where I'm at. I mean, maybe there's one. I don't know. I ought to go looking for one, honestly. Let's go ahead and... Probably, there's got to be like a wing place around. Either that or just learn how to make my own. Own really good wings. That'd be good. I'm probably gonna have burritos tonight. I do need to make some homemade broth for ramen later. But I didn't feel like setting that up today. What's up, Nick? I am working on a comic. I can share a little bit of some of the pages I've been working on. This is what we got so far as this latest batch. I finished this one up yesterday on another, or not this one, my mistake. This one on another stream. It came out all right. I feel like I've been a little bit sloppy with the line work as of late. Although I think the big part of that is I was really lazy with the thumbs. And that kind of honestly translates in a lot of ways to not so great line work. But that's okay. It's not a super vital page. It's important for other reasons, and it'll do its job. So, but this is actually part of the third chapter of this comic. Chapters 1 and 2, as well as whatever is of chapter 3. Is available over, I think there should be a link down below in the description. But yeah, there's some pretty fun pages in this chapter. I'm really happy with like how this one turned out, for example. Give it a second to load. I want to take this, cut out the words, and have it as a landscape print as well. I'm really wanting to do that. So down the line, that'll happen. Interesting. That's. But for now, we are working on this page, and so I'm laying out the ship. They're on a sand ship in this chapter. You typically cook your own? That's fair. I mean, it's not that hard to make wings, honestly, from what I understand. Thank you, Nick. Let's see. I just realized, do I want to be able to see the top of this? I kind of don't. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fake it. We're gonna push this up like this. And we're going to just kind of assume that the horizon line is right here. It's kind of the nice thing about using just something as a reference is you can kind of bend it to whatever you need it to be for the sake of the scene. Go and do that, and that. Is that a straight line? That looks like it's a straight enough line. This is a curve, though. There's still a slight chance that I could get this done by the end of the year, the line work that is, which would be awesome. I would absolutely love to have this line work done by the end of the year. I may just go like really hard into streaming over the next 2 weeks after next week. I may just really try to kind of push it. And like stream as many days as I can. Granted, you know, obviously I'm not going to stream on like Christmas or something like that, but we'll see. It would be nice though. Okay. Actually, I want this thinner. Truth be told, I might even go back over it and thin these lines a bit more because I want them to look a little worn and weathered. That's done. I don't need to worry about the back, which is nice, because otherwise I'm having to worry about like doing a curve here. How far do I want this line to go? Probably... Yeah, let's do that. We don't need to worry about the bottom rim. We do need to worry about the center control console. And we should be able to just do this by hand. And I will need to curve this around. Not quite like that. Yeah, we're just gonna use a ruler. The only concern I have... Would it curve like that, or would it... Let's try the other way. Hold on. I'm actually gonna try. Come on. Let's see what that looks like off. That, honestly, I'm going to be okay with that because truth be told, he's going to be covering up most of it. So let's go ahead and go with that. I may go back and fix it though. I don't know how I feel about it. Yo, what's up, Kahuna? Feel like it's been a while. Glad to have you by, man. Always a good time when you're able to stop by. Hope you've been well. We are streaming on a different day, so maybe this one's a little bit more convenient for you. Truth be told, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of streaming more on Fridays. Maybe I'll start kind of integrating that into my cycle. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's the end of the week, so I imagine people are kind of more just chilling, not having to be prepared for, you know, work day tomorrow. Just slam. That's fair. Hopefully you get a little bit of time off coming up here, though. We are going to actually as well. Come on. What's going on? It's that ruler. Oh, you really? Oh, by complete exit. So. Man, that reminds. I still need to post. I'm so terrible about just like posting art I have. I still need to post that piece I did for you, just on its own. At least I don't think I did. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. That, that, that. All right, sounds good, man. Let's see here. Oh, now comes the fun part. I need to... Oh, actually, no, I don't need to think about that. Gonna draw the scene, gonna make it shine. I don't know about that. Gonna take off the problems with turpentine. Darn right. Because goodness knows, I got a whole lot of problems to fix. Either that or I just go, good enough. What are we working on? We are working on the next part of Chapter 3 of The Blind King. So we are doing line work for page 5. Yep, 5. Out of 15. So I'll still have 10 more pages to do, which will suck. But I am looking forward to this page. This page, I actually really like the idea behind this page. Is there a reference to an Adam Sandler song? Goodness sakes. What was the last thing I seen with Adam Sandler in it? Back when those were a thing. I still get CDs every now and again. Me and my brother will get each other, like, for Christmas. We'll get music for each other. Still buy LPs. I don't buy things on LP, at least like as far as like noob stuff goes. I'll buy like older stuff on LPs. I've talked about that a little bit. But to me, like, I don't know. I don't really see a point as far as for me getting like new stuff on LP, because chances are it's not mixed for LP. And I just realized my camera shut off. Oh, that's interesting. This thing might be not doing great, honestly. I mean, it's like 50 years old, so. Nightwish on LP. Nightwish. Do I know Nightwish? I don't know if I know Nightwish. But yeah, I did consider picking up Arctic Monkeys AM on LP one time when I was in I think I was in like a Guitar Center or something like that. I was like, that would actually be kind of cool. But then I thought to myself, I was like, yeah, but I could just get it on CD. Like, for me, part of the fun of LPs is it is archaic. You know, I didn't grow up with records, at least not like, I kind of did, but not in the sense that it was like, oh yeah, this is how I listened to music, right? So for me, it is kind of like the nature of it is that sort of, it is sort of a unique experience in and of itself, as this kind of archaic form. So buying new music on a LP, like, I don't know, just doesn't have any kind of meaning to me. Buying the music I grew up listening to on LP because that's what it was originally on, now that's a different story. Every emo kid who got into metal adores Nightwish. I can already hear that. Funny enough, my first vinyl though that I got was actually a gift, kind of, by my old band teacher when I was in high school, because he was retiring. And so he had a lot of junk to get rid of. I mean, he had worked at that school forever or whatever. So there's all this junk in the music rooms. And so he comes out, he's like, okay, here's some stuff to check out. And it was a collection of classical guitar on vinyl. And it's actually very nice. It's nice to put on every now and again and listen to. Recorded very nicely. And the one thing that I will say, you know, everybody argues, oh, is you know, vinyl better than digital? It's like, no, it's like objectively not. But that's if you're looking at it from like a purely technical standpoint. From a like kind of artistry kind of standpoint, there are certain things about vinyl that are nice. And part of that, I've heard that like jazz is really nice to listen to on vinyl, and I don't know anything about that because I'm not a jazz guy. But acoustic instruments and such, it's a nice warm feeling to the tone and such. So it's nice. Also, I wonder if that music is like really heavily copyrighted kind of stuff. It probably is. But if not, I could totally listen to it on stream. Which would be fun. At your middle school, you'd place the classic Christian orchestra music with rock CD during lunch and get in trouble. Nice. I was the weird kid who was into prog rock, like classic prog rock, like Yes and King Crimson when I was in school. No one got it, man. I couldn't talk about music with people because no one knew what the frick I was talking about. There were some people who were like into Rush and stuff like that. That was always cool that you came across those kids. But everyone was into, like, AC/DC. They're like, oh, I'm so into classic rock. It's like, I mean, sure, but, like, come on. Oh, come on. Oops, I didn't do that. Take 5 Seconds Great on vinyl, and yes, Rush is the greatest band of all time. Heck yeah. Honestly, it's really funny, despite the fact that, you know, I grew up listening to Rush after going to a concert when I was 9. It was the Snakes and Arrows tour. Pretty sure. Yeah, must have been. Which is now old now. Not as old as some of their other stuff, but no, it's been over 15 years now. Wow, geez, it's going on 20 years. And it was so funny because I remember after going to that concert, because before that I hadn't listened to a ton of Rush. I knew Rush. I knew, like, oh yeah, I'd heard like The Trees and stuff like that. Some of their stuff, but I wasn't like super into them. And then I went to the concert, and then it's like, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I went and I got all of my dad's CDs, and he had a good amount. So a lot of their earlier stuff, basically from Hemispheres up to Hold Your Fire. For people who actually know the discography of Rush. Oops. And I was looking for a particular song because at the concert they had played Dreamline, and I thought that was the coolest freaking song at that night. And I still think it's a pretty cool song. I actually really like Dreamline. But if you know the discography of Rush, you know that that was Roll the Bones in, I think it's 91, something like that. We didn't have that album. So I started listening to crap ton of Rush, looking for a song I couldn't find. But it was all good, because I was listening to Rush. After that, I really started listening to them, and I actually remember coming across Grace Under Pressure, their album Grace Under Pressure, and songs like Kid Gloves or is New World Man is Signals, isn't it? I think it's not that album. Can't remember, but yeah, I remember coming across that album and that song in particular, Kid Gloves, and it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. So it was kind of fun, like finding the music that we didn't have as well, because I mean, it's such a massive group of works at this point. Yeah, that is Signals. Okay. I listened to Creed. I didn't listen to a lot of Creed. Some Creed, but not a ton. That's a good choice. YYZ or La Villa Strangiato. Yeah, those are both really good picks. Now, Villa Strangiato, is that Permanent Waves or is that Hemispheres? I can't remember. It's been so long, actually. It's been a while since I've sat down and listened to Rush. And funny enough, oh, what's up, Cinnamon? Good to see a new face around here. Hope you're doing well. What was it? Shoot, what was I saying? Yeah, La Villa Strangiato. I think that's Hemispheres. Unless I'm thinking... I might be thinking of... Is it Different Strings? Boy, I don't remember. It is off of Hemispheres. Okay, so there we go. You've never found hillbilly grass growers in the woods, have you? Probably not. Let's see. So, okay, so now we need to do the pipes. So, or not pipes, but it's what it's connected to. Yeah, 9-minute epic, which is already freaking, you know, it's Hemispheres. It already has another 2-minute epic on it. Honestly, I'm trying to think of what my favorite song is. It might be Cygnus X1 Book 2 Hemispheres. It might be Cygnus X1 Book 2 because it's just so cool. That's such a cool song, and the story it tells, man, it's just, oh my word, that is so amazing. Freaking, like, they went off for like 6 months, no, like 9 months, I want to say, disappeared off the face of the planet in order to make that album, and it just, like, freaking, oh my gosh, like, to this day is just like something else, man. That was when Rush really became the legends that they are. Yeah, let's see what else was on that. So of course you had Sickness X1 Book 2. You had La Via Santiago. You had The Trees. What else did you have? Shoot. I can't remember that whole album. I usually just listen to the A-side, which is one song. Yeah, I'm curious. My brother has Rush on vinyl, but I don't. Funny enough, I have Jethro Tull on vinyl. I have King Crimson on vinyl. I have UK. I have I have Iso Tamita. I have Thomas Dolby, which makes me really happy. I'm glad to have some Dolby on vinyl. I just realized actually I'm doing this wrong. Hold on. I need to move it over more like that. It's just a mini LP, but still, it has 4 of his best songs. Who else? I have Clat 2 on vinyl. There's one for you. I don't know how many people actually know Clat 2. Not enough people, to be honest. Everyone thought they were the Beatles because it was right after they put out, I think, their first album not too long after the Beatles broke up, and so everyone's like freaking out, and it's like, no, we're not the Beatles, and then people got mad that they weren't the Beatles, and it was just like, what the frick. So this is, yeah, Sickness X1 Book 2, and Side 2 says, Circumstances, that's right, yeah, Circumstances is awesome. That is an awesome, awesome song. Yeah, I forgot that was Hemispheres. Yeah, it's the song that he sings in French on, and everybody's like, what is he saying? He's like, he literally translates it for you on the next line. The more that things change, the more they stay the same. Okay, so that, I have that now. How do I want to do the controls for the shit? Probably, I'm gonna just delete this. Oops. They might be overlapping, honestly. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got it right. Good. So let's do that here. Honestly, I would love to have 1, 2, 3, 4, some like Eddie Jobson on vinyl or something like that. That'd be cool. Come on. All right. So this is gonna be just straight down. to some Mingus. I don't know if I'm familiar with Mingus. You ever heard of Manila Road? If you want classic metal, like freaking like straight up sword and sorcery type metal in the just some of the purest form, Manila Road. Charles Mingus, jazz artist. It does sound familiar, but I don't know my jazz artists. Like I said, I'm not a big jazz guy, to be honest. I'm more into like fusion than I am jazz. So like, Al Di Meola or shoot, he made an album called Dreamcast. I can't remember the name of the artist. He's the drummer. He's a drummer though. He got Dio to sing on the album. Shoot, I can't remember his name. I can never remember his name. He's a Japanese drummer. His stuff is fun. It's kind of metal fusion though. I haven't listened to that album in a while. I remember I threw that on one time when I was working, when I was in college. And I was chatting with a friend, we were listening to it, and the next song comes on, it's just Dio, like, freaking starts with this awesome, you know, high note metal, like, just out of the blue kind of note. Woke us both up. Let's see here. All right. Okay. So now I gotta kind of like scuff up the walls and stuff. Make it look like this thing has survived like wars and crap, because it probably has. I actually don't know entirely what the purpose of this ship was before, because he didn't build it. This guy did not build this. He came across this and learned how it works. So it might have been used for like purposes of war or something. Munetake Higuchi? Yeah, that does sound like it. Yeah, I forget who he drummed for, but it was someone big. He'd work for, although he probably did work for like a lot of people as well. Oh man, okay, I'm in the right company to talk about this finally. So I went to a concert back in November in which I got to see probably the most unique lineup of musicians I will ever get to see in my lifetime, because it was for something called Beat. Beat was an album by King Crimson back in 1981 or 2. I actually have that album. It's one of my favorites. So the internet said you looked it up. Sounds about right. So what it was two of the original members of that lineup. What's up, Trippy? Good to see you. Two of those original members, that being Adrian Belew and Tony Levin. Adrian Belew as the frontman and frontman, singer, and guitarist, and Tony Levin, of course, on bass. If you know Peter Gabriel, he's been the bassist for Peter Gabriel for freaking ever. And so you had those two guys. Then, because they didn't have Robert Fripp, who was another one of the members, he was the other guitarist. He was the kind of the brains behind King Crimson. It was kind of his brainchild from the beginning. So instead, they said, well, we don't have Robert Fripp. Well, who can we get who's like also an insane guitarist? Oh, I know. Steve Vai. Yeah, let's just throw Steve Vai into playing freaking King Crimson. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. And then as well, the drummer Bill Bruford was also not involved. So they got Danny Carey of Tool to do it. And I'm like, all right, that's freaking sick. So I expected to not be able to go. I just, you know, I didn't have the means to do it. But my brother invited me. He's like, yeah, well, I want to go and I have an extra ticket. I'm like, yeah, let's freaking do it. So I did get to go, and oh my word, man. I've been to a handful of concerts, not a ton. But as far as just sheer spectacle, and it was like a circus act is the best way I can put it, in the best way possible. Call you sicky, so oof. Hope you get better, dude. But it was like a 3-ring circus just on stage, and of course Adrian Belew, if you've ever like seen him perform live stuff like that, super charismatic. So he's a great like front man. Like he totally, you can tell like the dude's always having fun. It's so great. And so like what was so incredible about it is most of the time when you go to a concert, you're expecting, you know, performance of the song, right? And typically like a good measure of like the performance is, oh, they sounded just like the recording, right? This didn't sound like the recording because it was so improvisational. It was like witnessing the ultimate jam session for like 2 hours. It was just mind-blowing. Like, oh my gosh, it was really incredible because, you know, obviously I'd grown up hearing that music. I didn't grow up in the 80s, right? So all of that stuff, all of that I had been listening to for years, like that was in the past. I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna see this live. Like no freaking shot. Not even like a cover band, because no one's freaking covering King Crimson, right? Everyone thinks it's a freaking JoJo character, right? But along comes 2 of the original members and some of the best freaking talent still out there. And they're like, yeah, we're just gonna perform it. It's like, oh man, no, I was very happy to get to go to that. And honestly, like if a show's happening around, like, and you're into like prog rock and you're into like really out there like good performance, check that concert out. it's awesome. It was amazing. Call you smokers because you're jelly. Dude, like, I implore you, if you ever get the chance, I mean, see if, like, I can't remember how long they're going as far as concerts go, but who knows, maybe they'll stop by in your area. They're doing a whole tour of North America. I don't know if they're going to do more tours, if this is just like a one-off thing, but man, either way, I'm very happy to have been able to go. Okay, yeah, that looks not bad, actually. I'm not completely appalled by that. I'm gonna put a couple more blemishes around. Honestly, there's not a lot of bands I want to go see live, to be perfectly honest. I can actually probably count the number of concerts I've been to on one hand. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Yeah, we'll go with this. But yeah, let's see. So first concert I went to is Rush. Second concert I went to, I want to say, was Silver Sun Pickups. Is that true? I think that's true. There was a really long gap between my first concert and my second concert. Then I got to see Dance with the Dead live. That was super fun. Really enjoyed that. Then I went to see Slift last year. And then this year I went and saw Beat. So I think, yeah, I've only seen 5. I've been to 5 concerts. And truth be told, like I said, there's not a ton of people I would want to go see live, honestly. It would be sick to see Coheed and Cambria live, although their last album wasn't their best, to be perfectly honest. So I don't know. I could take it or leave it right now. But if they do another like really sick album, then probably that would be fun. Honestly, I stumbled across a band called Thank You Scientist not too long ago. They would have been cool to see, but as far as I'm aware, they broke up or something like that. They're not a thing anymore, I don't think. Streetlight Manifesto, that's one I'm not familiar with as well. Ska. Okay. Ska is just like... It's like if like the emo punk kid grew up or like the emo punk kid like got ice cream or something, you know? Like, and so he's actually really happy now. I was thinking of like friggin' Tony Hawk when I think of ska or something. Streetlight Manifesto there, Trippy Soul? You don't go to concerts because you hate people? It could definitely be like a little hectic. Kind of depends on the environment, though. When we went to Beat, it was much more of like a stage performance kind of thing, you know? So we all had like seats and whatnot. Of course, like most of the audience was freaking in their 50s, 60s, you know? So makes sense. I definitely don't make it a habit, that's for sure. You know, that would be a cool one to see, actually. I don't know if they're even still doing things. I mean, they did this stuff so long ago. But Liquid Tension Experiment, which is basically just Dream Theater with Tony Levin, and I like it better. I'm not a big Dream Theater guy. Okay, we're gonna call that good. It's nice and scuffed up now. We have the angle that we need. I'm gonna do a second line work layer though, just to make it easier on myself. Actually, I need to keep that on, turn that down. This shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, I know that friggin' Dream Theater is like the darling of orchestral metal fans and junk or whatever, but I don't know. Dream Theater. Yeah, I don't know. I don't much care for it. I will say, like, Constant Motion is a cool song. Freaking no. Start planning for Windows 10 end of support. It's called Linux. Get out of here. Symphonic. Whatever. Yeah, we're about to have words after the friggin' 15 minutes of solos, aren't we? So I've got some time. I shouldn't be talking. I listen to freaking doom metal. Only time you sing along though. What, the solo? You bust out the meadlies. I just realized I don't think I've drawn him with just his mask in like 20 pages or something. No, more than that. And your voice doesn't break either. Yeah, that's fair. He's looking off this way, so I'm actually tempted to push the mask out this way, honestly. Truth be told, you know, it's kind of funny. I do like metal, but I'm really not a fan of a lot of modern metal. And my brother kind of summed it up the other day when he was like, "Oh boy, Lydian again." Which, for those who don't know, Lydian is a mode within a scale, and a crap ton of metal songs are written in Lydian, so they all sound the same, pretty much. Just like all pop uses the same 4 chords. Yeah, pretty much. Honestly though, like, man, there's so many like artists out there who like are metal artists and stuff like that. Like, especially like YouTube cover artists who are really good at what they do, but the problem is they do it like over and over again. Makes it easy to mix and mash. Yeah. Pachelbel scale? I know that term, but it's been a long time since I've heard it. So I don't remember exactly what it is. Through the Fire and Flames goes with Blinding Lights. Yeah. Which, man, that's another thing that kind of ticks me off, is like the whole idea of quote unquote sounding like the 80s. It's like, most of the time, no. just because you used a freaking like sawtooth wave synthesizer, like, no, you don't. That's Synthesizers have existed for a lot longer than that, and they never stopped existing. Canon in D. Yeah, no, that's something completely different than the Wedding March. Canon D has the 4 chords. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think I did remember learning about that at some point. See, but that's what I liked about Thank You Scientist, man. When I first heard Thank You Scientist, I was like, holy freaking crap, I haven't heard anything like this in so long, because it was way more like Zappa-esque than anything else. Which it's like, who writes like Frank freaking Zappa in this day and age, you know? So I was super happy to hear that. Like, it was so nice to hear music where it's like, oh my gosh, this is actually going where I want it to go. Like, it's actually like moving how I expect it to move. Very, very little music does that for me, honestly. Jethro Tull does. There are parts in Jethro Tull songs where it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, the progression actually is like that's exactly what I want from music, you know? Yeah, you'd probably honestly dig them. I should try Snarky Puppy. I've heard that name. I don't know if I've ever actually listened to them. I could give them a listen though. If it wasn't for copyright, I'd totally be listening to Thank You Scientist right now though. I'd listen to a lot of things if it wasn't for freaking copyright. Heck, I'd have vinyl streams. I'd throw on some records for the fun of it. Mr. Invisible stuff. Yeah, Mr. Invisible's good. Frickin' check out Fox Mulder. Spelled kind of funny, but you'll find it. Really, the whole Terraformer album is awesome. The more I listen to it. The album that song's off of, Stranger Heads Will Prevail. That's also an awesome album. I remember Caverns was the first song I heard by them, and I was like at first I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, is this just gonna be another like kind of Animals as Leaders kind of like, oh, look how much we can play in a single, you know, measure. But then the singing came on. I was like, oh, it actually has composition. Let's go. That's when I got really excited. Because a lot of time, like a lot of music and stuff like that, like a really good example is Animals as Leaders, where it's like, okay, you know, like it's technically really impressive. That's cool. I don't really care though, because it doesn't actually like feel like it's using it for any reason. it just is kind of like throwing things together and being like, okay, let's just push it further and further and further. And like the only song that I've heard from Animals as Leaders that's actually done that, in my opinion, it has been Braindance. Braindance actually kind of has something kind of going for it in that regard. Like a jazzy ska. Yeah, I can kind of hear it because they have the trumpets and the saxophone and stuff like that. And a bit more upbeat than kind of the groovy sort of 60s vibe that Frank Zappa had. But yeah, that's kind of where I feel like prog rock and prog metal has kind of gotten itself is... I don't want to call it pretentious necessarily. I don't think it's pretentious because they are pulling it off, but it's kind of self-absorbed. I find it's like, oh, it's so technically like well done, you know. It's like okay, yeah, sure, but like who cares, you know? It's like, you know, it's like, does it actually have kind of a cool sound to it? Does it have an aesthetic to it that's interesting, or does it just sound like everyone else? Honestly, like anyone who is into rock, like into rock, or just the history of music in general, they have to know Frank Zappa, right? So many freaking people went through Frank Zappa, like came from Frank Zappa's like school, basically, you know? Freaking heck, two of them I saw at that last concert. Adrian Belew worked with Frank Zappa when he was really young, and Steve freaking Vai at like 17 years old was playing on stage with Frank Zappa, and it's like, okay. I don't listen to a lot of Zappa's work, because the best way I can describe Zappa's work is it's good, but he was kind of feeling something really new out, and it didn't quite take hold until like late into the 70s, I would say. But certainly that's not to downplay his contribution at all, because like, I mean, no one was doing stuff like Zappa. Truth be told, no one really does like Zappa nowadays, except for like very few people. Just compositionally speaking. I remember it was really funny. I remember hearing about an interview he did. Be kind of curious about this interview, honestly. And the interviewer asked him, "So you haven't gone to school for any of this or anything like that, but you know all this stuff. You know all this theory and all this terminology, all that kind of stuff." Oh wow, Dr. Demento. Yeah, Dr. Demento is one I haven't looked into myself, but I probably should. Because it kind of sounds like he's up my alley. But, oh shoot, I just realized I have the name from my last stream still up. Take that down. Anyway, so he asked Frank Zappa, so you know all this stuff, like, where did you learn all this? And Zappa just looks at him and goes, "You ever heard of a library?" Zappa was often on his show. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Bozio went through Zappa. Who else? There was more. There's a lot of people I don't even remember. One second. Eddie Jobson. Yeah, holy freaking crap. But ultimately decided. Yeah, freaking Eddie Jobson. The guy who decided, you know what? You know, I've been playing in orchestra since I was like 12 or something like that, because I'm a freaking virtuoso of the violin. Yeah, but that's boring. I'm gonna join prog rock bands. He joined up with Zap. Oh my word, I forgot. Yeah, he was even involved. Which, if you haven't listened to Eddie Jobson, do yourself a favor. His solo stuff is amazing. Actually, one of my favorite artists in general, musicians. This song is fire. Which one? Doggone, now I really want to listen to Eddie Jobson. I really wish I had his album Green on vinyl. It's not that expensive. Blood on the Radio. I've probably listened to it, but I don't recall. I'll have to give it a listen again, more specifically. I let a playlist of Thank You Scientist run. And it all sounds good. So you can't be that mad at me for not really caring for Dream Theater. I showed you Thank You Scientist. Catch you later there, Chippy. Hope you get the feeling better there, man. That always sucks when you get sick. Okay, let's do... Wait a minute, I just realized. So, King Bob, you used to play trumpet then? That sounds cool. When I was younger, I was a flute player. I really need to pick it back up. I really enjoy flute. I just haven't really picked it back up. I do now have a working accordion, which is fun. So, need to kind of mess around with that. Need to do something with that on stream sometime. That'd be funny. I'm absolutely atrocious at it right now, but you know. Fuck out, you're doing laundry. Uh-oh. Better go take care of that here soon. Guess we got a little bit distracted there. All right. I can't have that tangent. That'll do. Yeah. Do that. It's like modern day Chicago. I don't know if I'm familiar. I don't know if I do or not. Might not, though. Might be something I have to check out. Yeah, that's about the height that it goes. That. There. Not that. Bold. Not even that bold. So I should be able to... There we go. Truth be told, I may only do this one panel today and then switch over to something else. Hard to say I'm sorry. Glory of love. I mean, maybe I just don't know the song. Also, my camera keeps turning off. It might be time to retire this old thing, honestly. I better check the power supply or something. Maybe it's just a bad connection. It's gonna turn you off. Yeah, I actually do like how this panel's coming out. Going to tour with Hendrix. Okay, so they're going way back then. That's a ways back as far as rock history goes. '70s band. Okay. So not... Let's see. I got to remember... Because Hendrix was 60s, though, wasn't he? I thought he was 60s. like mid 60s to early 70s, if that, because he died pretty young. What was it, 27, something like that? '60s, '70s, '80s, and '90s. So okay. I mean, technically, King Crimson is the same way, but they didn't become like really, really cool until the '80s. So. Yeah, it all kind of depends on kind of where the spirit is, if you will. Let's see here. What time is it? 7:21. We've been working out this for about, yeah, an hour and a half. Let's go ahead and boost this line work here and get it without this. Yeah, I actually do like how that came out. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking of getting to this one, but there's a lot going on here, and I'm still kind of feeling lazy. So, one panel done's pretty good, but there is a transformative guitarist. That's why Hendrix loved him. He wanted to experiment with stuff. Peter just wanted to make money. Ah. All right, let's go ahead and switch gears, though. I want to work on this. Not that. Where is it? Do some of this. So I'm going through and painting stuff. I might need to add some more dark to this. Yeah, what's up, Vortex? Hope you're doing all right. All right. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Have a good night. Goodness. Have a good night. Yeah, his eyes are kind of good. All right, let's go. We're gonna do the counter. Actually, first things first, I want to decide whether or not I am in fact going to like pseudo animate this. Because if that's the case, oh, that's interesting. Then I need to patch that. Where is that at? Oh, you're that. I'd have to patch that and I'd have to patch that. Or... no, that wouldn't work. Or I don't bother animating it. But it would be a good chance to do some testing. I would just need to add this line here and clean up this, and then clean up the shells. Let's do it. Why not? Why not? Why not? Okay. Here, delete all that. And oh shoot, I need to remember. That that's not the right brush though. Is it? This is okay. Oh, thank you, Woods. I like how this is coming along too. Wait, no. Yeah, all right, let's do special blur. Let's actually bump it up. There. That sounds like Chicago meets Yellow Car. What song is that? Fox Mulder. That's a favorite of mine. That's a really good song. I actually have plans. I edited that song down to do a little kind of like pseudo intro for a series called Detective Mothman. So I need to get back to... oops, that's the wrong brush. I need to get back to that because I really like how it's coming out. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be super fun. I think people will appreciate it. That going... actually, hold on. Yeah, about there. I'm going to try to get the counter done with all the different stuff. And then we're just going to have the room to do, and then the back room, and then kind of texturing the wall and stuff like that, and the eyes, and doing some little effects things. Truth be told, this piece shouldn't take too long. I'll probably do some vignette stuff as well to emphasize the dark corners and such. But then we should be able to just kind of... Uh-oh. Am I still alive? Come on. Okay. It looks like it hiccuped over on my preview of the stream, so I wasn't sure. I'm back. Did I leave? Did I die? Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. Oh, it was a circle of doom? Yeah, I saw that too. I haven't dropped any frames, but it's still more unstable than it should be. It's annoying. Ooh, Chrono Trigger. This is actually the whole reason that I didn't want to do this, because I didn't want to do the shell. Because friggin' shells suck. Especially when you get them rounded corners like I did, like an idiot. Trying to get better at 2-point perspective. Let's see, for 2-point perspective, the key... Let's see... The key is to have a good focus for 2-point perspective, whether it's like the corner of a building is kind of the classic sort of use case. Truth be told, I always encourage 2-point perspective if there's a real like intentional use for it. Otherwise, single point perspective is fine. Most of the time, if I use 2-point perspective, it's for the sake of 3-point perspective. All right. Honestly, like, you have me on friggin' Discord. You know where to find me. Like, if you want to just throw a song my way or 2, or 5, or 7, I don't care. Go for it. Oh, that's one thing, Woods. Are you using grids? If you're doing stuff in perspective, you should always be using grids. Whether you draw it yourself or you use like a template. Truth be told, you should. I think it's good to learn how to draw your own grids. So definitely do learn that, just in case you have to. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now we can turn this off here. I'll also have to do the shadow as well, but we'll worry about that later. For now, yes, you are good. Very good. Glad to hear it. We need to do paint. Now, how, truth be told, I kind of screwed this up. Let's do pick color from layer. Let's grab that because we're going to need it. And let's think here. So as it gets lighter, it's going to be going this way. So let's lighten up here. And we are going to, I'm actually going to select. Yo. We're just going to kind of go through and truth be told, actually, I'm going to back that off there. The corner is going to be darker than these faces right here. And truth be told, these surfaces should not be this color. So we're actually going to color them a little bit differently when we get to the painting part. And we're going to throw in a little of red, I think, just to add some interest. Usually when I'm painting, I don't like to go like super strict with my coloring, especially for this style. I like to throw in some colors here and there for the fun of it. Let's now let's think. Okay, it's gonna be down this way. But it's still going to be pretty bright because it's still in front of the face of this camera. Or this light source, rather. We are going to take it, though. We're going to just kind of brush it in here. Give ourselves just a little bit of transition there. A little bit of red for the fun of it in between here. Yeah, certainly it looks unique. All right. Okay, let's go do this wall now. And we're gonna go really dark here. Only side that should have anything brighter should be that opposite side because it's closer, but we're gonna want a nice gradation into this really dark tone. So it's gonna just really throw down some ink here. Actually, I'm gonna want color picker here, I think. Although the hard part, actually, maybe let's grab the original and let's mix it a bit more. And we can actually use long thin strokes because that'll just look like wood grain. That's a really important thing when you're thinking about painting. You should be thinking about the material in a way that like there's almost like a silhouette to texture is the best way I can describe it, where what is the shape of the texture if you were to kind of like make it super contrasted and all that kind of stuff? How does it flow? Which does it have direction? Does it have like a channel of how it looks, you know, kind of thing? Like if you think of let's take like hammer worked metal, for example. Hammer worked metal. If I were to make this like up here, this pot look like hammer worked metal. We'll just do it real quick here. I would use kind of a tapping method a lot more, and I would shift the color tone more dramatic to create more of a sense that there's like pockets and divots and stuff like that, more so than anything else. This isn't how I'm gonna do it, but that's the idea. So rather than doing a lot of like really stripy stuff, which gives a totally different texture, this more like dabbed on kind of look is the texture. If you think of like when Bob Ross paints his trees, right? He's thinking leaves when he's painting the leaves or the bristles or the needles of like a pine tree or something like that. And so he's dabbing his brush because there's a lot of noise there. Whereas when he's drawing, when he's painting the trees, it's these straight lines, very stark straight lines. When I started to think about how texture affects how you paint it, and how you paint it becomes a factor, more so than just, you know, painting it however, that's when I really started to kind of appreciate painting more. So that's what all those techniques are. There's a little too much contrast over here, so this would actually be even darker up here because of the lip. That's actually something I should kind of factor into the other side. Okay, let's go ahead and do that, actually. It's not going to be as dark, but it will be darker. Darker than that, even. It's really on the edge there. Something like that. Nice. Looking forward to that. It'll be cool checking out what you got for me. Okay, let's go ahead and do, let's go back to here. Oh, I know this artist. Who is this again? That's right, To the Jazz, Unlikely Zero. No, this is a very cool song. I actually wrote this one down. Last one has art too. Nice. And let's go ahead and we're actually gonna like take this and kind of brush it down into it a little bit. We'll go with that. That's all right. You need to go darker. That'll be fun. All right. So now these doors, we're gonna go with kind of a mahogany kind of temperament here. Over them. Man, I kind of want this kitchen. I don't know where the stove is, but, you know, I think technically it would be here. We'll just pretend that's not a problem. So now let's go ahead and think about lightening it. Let's keep pushing it. I really like how the texture came out on that. A little further. All right, let's go with that. Okay, now let's grab something like that. Thinking the little box is a mouse. This thing? The three little icon box thingies down here? I don't know. Like a part of the editing software. This is, yeah, I mean, this thing, if you're talking about this, is just a little like menu for like quick actions and stuff like that, but I do everything with thumbnail or with hotkey, so I I never use it, but it does exist. I'm gonna actually call that nice. I do kind of like the sort of mahogany look. It looks like a mouse on the kitchen floor. That's funny. They have a pretty clean house. I doubt there'd be many mice running around. I'm actually gonna, as well, you really dark. We're just gonna, oops. With that, and maybe even darken it a touch more here. Dang it, I screwed that up. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay. And let's go and darken it again. I actually really like the contrast that that red makes against the green of his fur. That's nice. Good. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab... Oh, shoot. Let's turn off the fridge. How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? I might just need to close these off. I think this is the right... No, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. That's definitely not the right one. Which one did I use? I got it. Hold on. One of these days, I'm gonna have to actually organize this crap. That must be it. Unless I screwed another brush of mine up. No, it's not that one. Hold on, that actually might be it. Why would... Yeah, I think that's it. Well, it'll work for this. We're not going to see these lines anyway. Oh. Ideally, the idea behind this will be to... let's see what it looks like on the fridge on. Yeah, there we go. Whole idea behind that is so we don't have to worry about it. Yay! All right. She'll be interesting when I start trying to animate it, but I can make the fridge bigger. All right. What time is it? Just getting close to 8. We'll probably just finish up this counter as far as the woodwork here goes, and then we'll call it a night. Okay, there we go. Oh, dang it. That was the mistake I made. I'll figure out what happened. Okay. We'll get a little bit lighter here. Hey, what's up, Guilty? Good to see you. Actually going to go back and forth and match these up as well. The nice thing is that once he's in place, that won't be a huge thing. Where did Swarm come from? Yeah. I don't want too much contrast is the thing, because, like, it's a background element, so I might actually... Hold on. Take out some of the contrast going on here, and just kind of do a sweep through and just Just kind of push it down a touch. That's a trick for everyone. Elements in the foreground should have more contrast than elements in the background. That's called composition, and it comes from our relation with atmospheric perspective. Atmospheric perspective being the thing that happens when, like mountains and crap, are really far away and they become lighter. Let's go with that. Actually going to as well kind of bring this down. Okay. Oh, that's just happy music. You know something really funny? Between this piece and shoot, where is it? And this piece, you'd probably think that this is like a pretty dark story. Because they're both kind of spooky. But no, this is like the most wholesome story I have, I think. Yeah. Yeah. No one dies or anything. Quite the opposite. Name for this IP? Nah, no idea what I'm gonna name. I'll come up with that when I actually turn it into something. By something I mean probably like a myriad of different little projects and stuff like that. I do have ideas for little comics to do with them and stuff. And animations and whatnot. So it's gonna be kind of like a multimedia kind of thing. The part I really need to figure out how to do is the beginning intro. I think I'll do it as a comic. And probably most of everything will be a comic form. Probably. Because comics are actually doable for me as a single artist. Until I can actually like hire people to do stuff. Which I would love to do, but you know. The fun of it. Alright, Woods. Catch you later. Good luck with the practice. Appreciate you stopping by and appreciate the comments. Always good to have you by. Let's see. see here. Ba-ba-ba-ba. This is also a classic. This is Yoger. Nearly There. Where have I heard this? Must have been in like a compilation or something like that. Because I do not recognize the name, but I know for a fact I've listened to this song a lot. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Honestly, I might need to... Actually, I'll definitely need to do some, like, more shadows for the floor, because right now it's not really... If we turn off the line work, it's more obvious. It's not, like, blending very well. So I'll definitely need to do some shadow work for that. But for now, we're not going to worry about that. Just know that the floor is not done yet. Now, oh, I'm starting to get tired. Brighten it up a touch. And darken it as well. Touch of purple in there. There we go. Yes, and actually grab a touch of purple here. There we go, and got here. That darken up over here. Yeah, we'll call that. For the fun of it, let's go ahead and take the floor now. Oh, we can't do that. How did I select the floor last time? Because that's part of this. Did I just select it by hand? Maybe I selected it by hand. Because all of this is on the same level. This doesn't No, this does matter. I don't think I did it this way, but maybe I did. I thought I had a better method for selecting all of those. But I can't think of it right now. No, there's got to be a better way. How did I do this? I don't think I just selected everything. No. How in the world did I do that? Hold on. I remember it being really easy to select all of this. Maybe I did it like this. I mean, that works. Okay, now for the fun of it, let's grab some of the darker color and move it, push it in around the counter. Really back here as well. Your current state of mind is the best music of all time. Nice. That's how I felt when I came across it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like everything I've been looking for. So it does exist. Hey, Wolfie, how's it going? I appreciate it. It's coming along. Come on. Yeah, let's go darker. That looks a bit, but that's getting there. Let's see what he looks like with him on there. I'm actually tempted to do his shadow directly on that layer. Why not? Let's go ahead and do that here. Probably will create a better effect. And I need to... I just realized that actually in reality this area over here would actually probably be pretty dark because the door would be creating a lot of shadow. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can work with this. We'll have to do a little bit more work on the counter, but let's go ahead and just pull some of that darker tone in there at the bottom. So, fun fact: the closer a shadow gets to its caster, the darker it is. So that's why I want these shadows down here to be nice and dark. And we just push out. And we're actually gonna have it get really dark over here. It's gonna kind of be our roadmap. Have to kind of work it here. Maybe a little tighter than that. Oops. What? I don't know why. I guess I was trying to see it better. Push that in, push it like that. Contact shadow. Yes, that's exactly the name's contact shadows. Yeah, there's many different types of shadow. There is contact shadows, there is cast shadows, and there is ambient occlusion. Of course, ambient occlusion being when a space is too tight for light to enter. So for example, like up here under the lip of this, light has a harder time getting under that lip. You remembered a thing. You're halfway to being a great artist. Honestly, a big part of like doing art and stuff like that is just remembering like all this stuff. Actually doing it, you know, once you get comfortable with a medium or a tool, it's not too terribly hard to make something look good, honestly. Really depends on what you're doing. It's just a matter of just dedication after a time. Let's go this way more. Just so long as you're always kind of breaking out of your comfort zone. The biggest thing that holds people back, I think, is that they get into a mode where they'll do something that they feel is right, and so that's all they'll do, you know. And so they'll forget about doing things wrong, being what we're really teaching. At least in the variety of your skill. Rote practice is important, but it also it's pretty limited, I find. If you're looking to like learn a specific style, it's exactly how to do it, but I'm actually gonna turn Grim off for a second. It's not perfect, but I do like how that looks, actually. The casting of the shadow really needs to be right, because it's a big portion of the composition. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna push the light out even further to help make that contrast kind of spread. So one thing that's really fun to do with shadows, and I did this with the 3rd chapter cover of my comic, The Blind King, is using shadow for composition in really dramatic ways. I am very inspired by expressionist styles, particularly German expressionism, and so I love shadow play. It's one of my kind of go-to. Teddy bears always win. They have the power of sticks on their side. And the Empire will fall to Ewoks. Huh. Technically speaking, the middle here would have light passing through as well. Because you got them skinny legs. This cut in more. Contrast here, darker. So, the reflected light looks like glowing eyes. His eyes? Or them eyes? There. Because his eyes actually do glow. They're kind of like cat eyes. Only probably even more glowy. Because he can actually see in the dark. And yet, he doesn't know what's behind it. shadow is the wrong way. Okay. It would be more like this way. So that means... but I like the way the shadow goes that way. Hold on, I can make this work. Because it's like it's being drawn back that way. Okay, hold on. But we can't have it go that far that way. Let's just lay down the shadows the way we want it to be. I'm spending too much time rendering. I've got to figure out actually like how I want the light to play. So that way is good. This way towards that. There we go. Okay, that should do it. Should have done that from the start. This is the right way to do it. I'm glad I decided to do it all on the right, on the single layer. Otherwise, it would have looked a little cheap, I think. I will need to really darken like all of this, basically, but that's okay. That's enough on this one. It's not actually... Yeah, I'll need to darken it a little bit, but not a ton. Except for this side. This side will have to be really good. I'm gonna give a little bit of brightness up here. A little bit of light bleed. It's still not ideal. The length of his arm. He's hitting his arm, it's coming out, and it's fucking maybe more even like this. It would also be up here as well. So it'd be this tiny little pocket of light. Truth be told, I don't even know. Let's go ahead and just like cover that essentially. Here. Let's actually push this out a little further. dark color tones back. And I want the shadows to appear a little bit like wispy in the way that they are. I don't want them to be too detailed or too precise because it gives a nice kind of dreamlike kind of look. And that's a big part of this story is like everything has this kind of like floating world kind of dreamy kind of look. This is Chipcell. I immediately recognized it. It's called Otis. It's from the Super Hexagon soundtrack, I'm pretty sure. Chipcell, like legit, if there is an artist to listen to as far as like LSDJ kind of tracking and stuff like that, it's Chipcell. It's just freaking crazy. She actually, I think, did a song for a recent game that came out about a weird, like, creepy lady that follows you through the subway and you have to constantly be avoiding her while trying to, like, get past, like, a crowd. It's kind of funny because there's a reference to her in the game itself. I was like, wait a minute, what the heck? But it turns out the game was made in, I'm pretty sure, Northern Ireland, and I think that's where she's from, so... I was like, oh, that's funny. Found it? I just also realized this would be casting a shadow as well, so we're going to have a little bit of a bump up here, like that. Uh-oh. There it goes. "12 years old, dang." Yeah, it's crazy how much like how old some chiptune music is, you know? It's like a lot of the stuff I've been listening to recently, it's like, holy crap, I could have been listening to this back in high school. Why wasn't I listening to this in high school? I wasn't as good at finding this sort of music though when I was younger. I did like chiptune when I was younger, but mostly video game soundtrack. I kind of looked at it as video game soundtracks, so I didn't get into like keygen stuff until later. Really not until after finding Dun the Patrullen. And even then, kind of limited. But I did get into Dun the Patrullen when I was in high school. And subsequently all of the crazy Swedish bit pop artists out there. Which, holy crap, Sweden's like freaking cracked when it comes to bit pop and chiptune. Because they had Dun the Patrullen, Runecraft, Boss Fight back when he made chiptune, Phantom and K, Meganico, or Meganico, whatever it is. Pretty sure they're from Sweden. Could be wrong about that though, I can't remember. Or Scandinavia in general, I can't remember. But yeah, just tons of like high-end, like hard-hitting chip artists. I need to fix that. 1 second. That's not a good enough radiation. This is okay. Hold on. Okay, it's not perfect yet. I'm still working on the lighting. I really should have planned out the shadow a little bit better. Honestly, it probably would go like here. Let's make sure that this is clear, just for future's sake. That's gonna. Actually, hold on. Am I happy with the? I'm actually not. I think that's fine. I think. Yeah, no, I think that should be fine. Something like that. Now, last thing, here's what we're gonna do, actually. We're just gonna kind of do a sort of wash over everything in this corner with a very dark brush. Oh, dang it. Let's just do this. And sort of the equivalent of that for this side now. Let's just sort of darken everything up. Which means this will need to be darker because you can't have that lighter than the other side. But I actually like the contrast of this better, so this will work. Let's go and grab you and you and over here and kind of just work it. Fun of it. Yeah, that's a little bit more ground. I mean, that's still out of place, like, ever. But actually, let's do that real quick, because this will take like 3 seconds. Let's grab your color. Maybe just a dark wash over the thing. Oh, whoops. We can actually... let's keep it up like that for now. Or lights. It gives me a little bit of control, which is nice. Kind of miss radiation a bit. This would be darker in the corner here. I'll need to push that. But for now, I honestly feel like I'm just kind of pushing paint around. I'll need to get back at this because I've been going for almost 3 hours. So, not too terribly long, but I do like how this piece is coming out. I think it's got the kind of characteristics that I'm really looking for. I need to push the contrast on his little sweater and in general. I want to just draw him into a bit more of a bit more contrast with him. Actually, for the fun of it, hold on. One last thing. For the fun of it, let's just see what we can do if we were to go here and play with saturation. Not saturation. Hold on. This is the wrong one. Correction. Let's do brightness and contrast. Let's add a bit of contrast. Draw the brightness down a bit. His shorts aren't quite right, and his legs aren't quite right either. So we'll have to do it by hand. Anyway, that's all right. That's better anyway. This would probably be a little bit brighter here as well. Okay. Well, either way, let's go ahead and wrap up. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. A lot of people stopping by on the phone side, which is really cool. I will catch you guys later. Have a good one. I will be back maybe on Tuesday. I'm actually going to be going in for surgery on Monday. Mostly kind of a minor thing. Actually really looking forward to it. It's going to be really nice to get that out of the way. But I don't know if I'm going to be feeling like streaming the next day. So we'll see. I'll post on my YouTube channel, the community post things, whether I'm not going to do it. But either way, I will certainly be back next week at some point, hopefully on Thursday, if not Tuesday. Yeah. So, yeah, expect to see me then. Hopefully I will have a little bit more progress done on everything, honestly, but this piece as well as the comic. I hope so too there, Guilty Gear. Like I said, I'm actually really looking forward to it. I've been trying to get this taken care of for months now, so it'll be nice to finally actually get in and hopefully get it over with. It's not the last time, unfortunately. I'm probably going to go in for surgery, but it's a good first step, and it should take care of some stuff, so that'll be nice. Either way, let's see. Anything else? I don't think I have anything else to announce. Hope you all take care. Hope you all have good holidays and all that kind of stuff. If I happen to not see you, but yeah, hopefully I'll see you next week at some point. Hopefully, if not Tuesday, Thursday. And yeah. Catch you all later. Have a good one. This is a really fun Friday. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Goodbye.